In a small countryside town where life moved slowly and people still greeted each other by name, there lived a young man named Ethan. He was 26 years old, healthy, reliable, and hardworking. For many years, he had worked at a local hardware store near the center of town. Every morning he opened the shop, arranged the shelves, helped customers choose tools and supplies, and carried heavy boxes until his arms ached. He never complained. His boss trusted him, and his co-workers respected him. From the outside, Ethan's life looked stable and simple, but inside he felt stuck. Each month, after paying for rent, food, and basic expenses, Ethan carefully saved a portion of his income. He watched his savings grow slowly, number by number. Yet no matter how disciplined he was, the progress felt painfully small. At night, after long days of work, Ethan often sat alone by his window, staring into the quiet street. He worked hard, saved money, and lived carefully, yet he couldn't escape the feeling that he wasn't moving forward. He had heard people talk about money that worked on its own, money that continued to grow even when its owner rested. Some called it passive income, others simply said, "Let your money work for you." Ethan didn't want to be rich overnight, and he didn't dream of luxury cars or showing off. What he wanted was freedom. Freedom from constant worry, freedom from depending on a single paycheck, and freedom to know that if something unexpected happened, his life wouldn't fall apart. The truth, however, was that he didn't know where to start. Taking a second job wasn't realistic, and borrowing money frightened him even more after seeing friends trapped in debt and regret. One quiet weekend morning, Ethan remembered an older man people often spoke about with admiration. His name was Mr. Calder. He lived just outside town, near open fields and fruit trees, and although he no longer worked long hours, everyone knew he lived comfortably. Not because he showed wealth, but because he seemed calm, unhurried, and secure. After some hesitation, Ethan decided to visit him. That afternoon, he walked along a dusty path until he reached Mr. Calder's home, where he found the old man sitting beneath a large mango tree, holding a cup of tea and watching the leaves sway gently in the breeze. There was no rush in his movements and no tension in his posture. Ethan greeted him politely and sat down. After a brief pause, he spoke honestly about his job, his savings, and his frustration. He admitted that he wanted his money to grow, but without gambling his future or losing sleep at night. Mr. Calder listened quietly, nodding from time to time, and finally said that when he was Ethan's age, he had felt exactly the same. That surprised Ethan. He had always assumed Mr. Calder knew what to do from the beginning, but the old man smiled and explained that no one truly does. Most people misunderstand money, believing it grows through luck, speed, or bold decisions, when in reality it grows through patience, discipline, and awareness. Before expecting money to work for you, he said, you must first learn to respect it. As they walked slowly through the nearby fields, Mr. Calder explained that saving wasn't about being rich, but about learning control and proving to yourself that you could manage what you already had. Even small amounts mattered when handled consistently. He also warned that many people delay their future by chasing comfort too early, buying things not because they need them, but because they want to feel successful. There was nothing wrong with enjoying life, he said gently, but timing mattered. Spending too early quietly steals from your future self. As they continued walking, he pointed to simple scenes around them. Someone renting unused land, a woman selling homemade food, another person offering small services that solved everyday problems. Most opportunities, he explained, don't arrive as big ideas. They exist quietly, right where people stop paying attention. Ethan realized he had been searching for something big and impressive while ignoring what already existed around him. Back under the shade of the tree, Mr. Calder spoke again, explaining that many people wait for the perfect plan, not realizing that perfection is often just fear in disguise. Real learning begins only after action, small action taken carefully. Mistakes are unavoidable, but they are far less costly when you start small. He also warned Ethan about the temptation to spend too quickly once money begins to grow. When income finally starts moving, The first instinct is often to reward oneself, but real growth happens when that money is allowed to work again before it is enjoyed. Over time, steady reinvestment creates momentum, not overnight success, but something stronger and more stable. Before Ethan left, Mr. Calder shared one final thought. "Never depend on a single source," he said calmly, "because life changes, and stability comes from variety." Patience, he reminded him, is not passive. It is active consistency, learning, adjusting, and staying open to change. Many people fail not because they choose the wrong path, but because they stop walking too soon. As the sun lowered in the sky, Ethan stood up and thanked Mr. Calder sincerely. He had come looking for a way to grow his money, but instead, he had learned how to grow himself. Mr. Calder smiled and told him that this was always the beginning. Ethan walked home that evening with a calm confidence he hadn't felt before. He didn't expect quick results and didn't chase shortcuts. He simply began paying closer attention, saving more intentionally, and thinking more clearly. Slowly and quietly, his money began to work with him, not against him. Money grows best when guided by patience, awareness, and discipline. Small beginnings handled wisely often lead to lasting freedom. If this story gave you a new way of thinking about money and life, please like, share, and subscribe to support more meaningful stories like this. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you clarity, steady progress, peace of mind, and success on your journey, both in learning English and in building a life that truly works for you.